Haunted house. The story I'm about to tell you is about the time that Butch called up his patron, Philip II of Spain, to watch and admire his newest painting that he thought it was his best. And the two men looked at it for about 5 minutes. It ended up into a really poor decision. 5 minutes passed, and the two men were completely destroyed. Philip II was in first stage epilepsy, and Bosch entered and fell to sleep. But what people don't know about this magical night that happened in the castle of Philip II is the epic journey that took place in the mind of Philip II while he entered what we call today the fourth dimension, where he have to fight against his greatest fear if he wants to come back to real life. When he opens his eyes at first, he's tied with rope, and the next thing he knows, he's face to face with the ghost of William of Orange, the main protagonist of the entire Spanish Revolution that occurred in the Netherlands. The next thing he knows, William of Orange started to throw orange juice at him. Philip II didn't really understand what was happening, so he asked if there was a problem. And Sir William of Orange responded with a clear and positive, "Yeah, there is a problem. You see, William of Orange didn't want it to hurt him that much. All he wanted to hear Philip II say sorry and apologize for everything he's done, such as the Spanish Fury, the Council of Blood, and any other kind of Calvinist persecution." Philip II hesitated, but he did it. He apologized. And the ghost of William of Orange vanished, and Philip II went to the second level of his epic journey. Our friend Philip II was now in the new world, in the jungle, somewhere he's never been, but he spent so much money there. He doesn't know how it looks, and doesn't know how it works. And he heard a noise. It was a native, or what he called a savages. He took off his sword and pointed it at the native and said, "I want to see El Dorado. I want to see the city made out of gold." The native started to laugh at him. "The city of gold is right behind that bush." Philip II didn't believe him, and said, "I want to see Cortez. I want to see him." "He's behind that bush." And the native escaped. Philip II had to deal with the discovery of what he's never seen. As he approached, went through it. This is what he wanted to see. A city made out of gold. But it was more like a city made out of stone. Philip II started to cry. And just like a baby, he cried himself to sleep. Poor Philip II. During his sleep, our king was disturbed by something, and the something was a drink. And the drink was a hot drink. And the hot drink was hot tea. And the hot tea was English! Our protagonist burst his eyes open from his sleep and ran to the nearest door that he could find, screaming and crying, "Ah, leave me!" But only to be stopped by chains. He was trapped like a rat in an English prison. For a while, he was in his prison, only by himself, until the Queen Elizabeth herself comes and visits him to talk about the tension about both of their countries and what they should do about it. As they discuss about the certain tension that I was mentioning to you, they talked about how England sponsored pirate activity and how England financed the French resistance against Spain, and also the defeat of the magnificent Spanish Armada. They both came to an agreement. And as he kissed the ring of the Queen of England, he was transported somewhere else. As he took a deep breath, he could see that he was somewhere that he knew, somewhere that he already has been. He was in Spain, yes. He was in Spain finally, and the nightmare was over. He ran, as a good and pious man, Philip II ran to the nearest church that he knew. And as he arrived there, he noticed something that he didn't appreciate. And when he didn't appreciate it, he started to cry in fear, because he realized that church is modest. And Protestant church are modest. He's just realized that his beautiful country had become Protestant. He cried and cried and went to see the flowers, and he was stung by a bee. Philip II was more than tired to be put to sleep than to wake up. He was really tired of this good old game that he's been playing for an hour now. And when he arrived to his final stage, he was facing a strange creature. He was facing elves. And what he saw in the background pleased him well. It was gold. He ran to it, he jumped on it, and he even kissed it. he was finally somewhere where he loved. He was with his gold. After 15 minutes of enjoying himself and diving in his pool of gold, he asked what were the elves doing there with all the gold. They said that they were managing the money of the empire for Philip II of Spain. Philip laughed because he knew he was Philip II, but the elf didn't seem to knew that. And strangely, an elf started to approach more and more Philip, and he started to eat the money and Philip with it. Philip woke up right next to Bosch. The two men were completely asking each other what was happening, and they didn't knew. And Philip said, "I should stop buying from you, Bosch." And Bosch responded, "I know." Yes! Do.